What's up, everyone? Welcome to the same Philly Sports History for November 10th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a game day Sunday edition of the podcast. Eagles Cowboys this afternoon down in Dallas. Looking forward to it. Let's start with some quick housekeeping notes. First, be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont at Twitter and TikTok, at Philly Jimbo on Instagram. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont. If you're enjoying it, tell your friends, spread the word. If you're liking it, chances are someone in your circle will as well. Let's continue to outsmart the algorithm, which I have no idea how we're going to do that since I don't even understand how the algorithm works. But that's okay. Be sure to check out the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame Heritage Collection, now available online. The link is in the description. It's constantly evolving, constantly growing, so be sure to check that out. I had a great time on Thursday setting up a little traveling exhibit at Live Casino. I will be posting pictures and things of that soon, so stay tuned for that. The link is in the description. And then go to Philly Goat. It's never too early to do your Christmas shopping. They have Eagles Dallas gear. They have Saquon Barkley gear. If you really want to live dangerously, they have Sixers gear too. Check out the collaboration they're doing with Varsity Cooler. That backpack cooler is sweet. It's going to make a great gift. So go check that out and be sure to use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off. And I would love if you want to buy for my birthday, which is coming up, that backpack cooler. Then go check out my boys at the Clashing Conferences podcast. Available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. Good day to listen to the football podcast with the OGs from the NFC East. About halfway through the new college episode, introducing the new guys. Looks like a good crew. So if you're into college sports, they got you covered there as well. But that's available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. All right, let's get into this game. Let's start with a recap of yesterday's question of the day. I asked you, who's going to play better today, the offense or the defense? 64% of you think it's the offense. Hard to disagree with that. I truly think it's going to be just one of those games where the offense and the defense both are kind of keeping up with each other, seeing who can play better. But thank you, as always, for participating in the question of the day. There'll be another one later in the show. Now, this line started off at 7.5. I saw it at 7 this morning. Likely we'll probably go back to 7.5 again. But since we'll use the official number I saw on DraftKings this morning at 7 for our pick later, the over-under is 43.5. Kind of low. I think that just goes to show what the odds maker think of the Cowboys offense. As far as injuries, none for the Eagles. Everybody will play, be available, and all that. So that is good news for the Birds, especially A.J. Brown. So they're going into this game full strength. CeeDee Lamb looks like he's good to go for the Cowboys. Michael Parsons is still listed as questionable, but I have a feeling he likely plays as well. He was just trying to figure out how his week of practice went. It seemed like it went well. So they'll be they'll be playing for the Cowboys. Dak obviously is out for the season. Dumpster fire. I called it at the beginning of the year, and they're an absolute dumpster fire. But there's still a game to be played. Cooper Rush is making the start for the Cowboys. So what are the three keys? And if we had a sponsor here, this is where I would say the sponsor. So KeyBank, any local car dealerships, even Al's used cars. I'll take you. Let's go. But here are the three keys to the game. And I think it's important because of what's coming up on Thursday to not get caught looking ahead. That is the first key. Don't get caught looking ahead. Like I said, the Cowboys are dumpster fire. But this is a division game. It's a rivalry game. They're going to be up for this game no matter what. You cannot take this team lightly no matter how many injuries they have, how terrible they've played this year. You cannot take this game lightly and look ahead to the showdown with Washington on Thursday night. Nick Sirianni has done a good job since the bye keeping these guys focused and kind of with the right mindset. Hopefully he did that this week because it's very easy and natural for them to look ahead to the Thursday night game against Washington. Washington has a tough game in Pittsburgh, so it is possible that the Eagles will be in first place at the end of this game. So they need to stay focused and take care of their business today. Don't get caught looking ahead. Number 2, run the ball. It's been working since they kind of switched over to that run-first kind of offense. It's been working. Plus, the Cowboys' run defense stinks. They're like 30th against the run. So just keep it the way it has been. Let the offense flow through Saquon and set up the pass, control the clock, and just dominate. Let the offensive line dominate. But you have to run the ball. Saquon could have 150 yards today. The Dallas run defense is terrible, so you got to run the ball. Keep consistent with what's been working. And finally, the third key of the game, make Cooper Rush beat you. The Dallas running offense also stinks, so they're not going to run the ball. So make sure you're bracketing coverage over towards CeeDee Lamb, and then get after Cooper Rush. Make him uncomfortable. Allow him to beat you. And I don't think he's capable of doing that. So make his life uncomfortable. Focus on him because the running offense is not good. So you cannot let these old guys, Dalvin Cook, and I don't even know if Zeke is playing, but you can't let them have games. You got to make sure you continue to shut down the run and force Cooper Rush to beat you, which I don't think he's capable of, not with this secondary. So just get after him. And I don't see it happen. I really, really don't. But you cannot, if you let those guys start getting 3, 4, 5 yards of carry and getting big chunk runs, you could be in trouble. So make sure you shut down the run and force Cooper Rush to beat you, which I don't think he's capable of. All right, so now it's time for the pick. We are officially 4-4 on the year with our picks. I've been saying all week at 7.5, I like it. So if we're going to take it at 7, we're going Eagles -7. I really think the way you can say what you want about his in-game decision-making, going for it on 4th down, chasing points and things like that. Nick Sirianni has done a phenomenal job, and I will give him credit for that, of getting this team ready and focused on what's in hand. Don't get cute. Stay with what's working. The way you've been playing recently, a perfect matchup with the Cowboys right now. The way their run defense is terrible, the way your defense has been playing, this should not be a close game. And I know it's a division. I know the Cowboys are going to be up, but I cannot see this game being close. Not with Cooper Rush at quarterback, not with the dumpster fire. I mean, Dak was on the sideline the other day saying, "We effing suck." So, I mean, the players know it. Yes, they're going to be up for the Eagles, but I cannot see this game being close. Put it all on the Eagles, -7 today. That is our official pick. Let's go, Birds. All right, Flyers took a 4-3 shootout loss. They did get the point. Samuel Ersson was back last night and played very well, so that's a good sign for the Flyers. Joel Farabee, Garrett Hathaway, and Anthony Richard all scored for the Flyers, who have been playing well. After they went through that little bit of a stretch, they've been playing well. Mishkov was a healthy scratch again last night. I think that's all part of the process, is what Tortorella keeps saying. So hopefully he'll be back tomorrow when they return home to take on San Jose. But a loss for the Flyers, but they get the point in a shootout. They played well, hung tough with a good Panthers team. So that's a good sign, especially with Samuel Ersson coming back and playing very well in the shootout loss. Sixers, from one dumpster fire in the Cowboys to another in the Sixers, they are back home tonight to take on the Hornets. Who knows? I mean, hopefully this is the Paul George coming out party, his first home game, and he plays well. This is also the last game of Joe's suspension. They play Tuesday night against the Knicks in the NBA Cup, their first home game. I'm looking forward to at least seeing the court. Hopefully Joe plays for that. But I don't know. I was reading in the Inquirer this morning. It's very well possible that this team could be 1-10. And at that point, do we just start rooting for lottery picks? I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. But Sixers Hornets tonight down at the Wells Fargo Center. All right, today we are going to go back to 1985. And on this day in 1985, the Eagles beat the Falcons 23-17 in overtime when Mike Quick took a Ron Jaworski slant pass 99 yards for the walk-off win down at the Vet. It is, to this day, the longest pass play in Eagles history, and it's going to be hard to beat, not only because it's 99 yards, but I was reading up on it, and they ran the first play out of the end zone, got stuffed. So Ron Jaworski said it was literally the ball was on the 1-inch line. So it's going to be hard-pressed to find a longer pass play. But Mike Quick took it 99 yards to the house. And I always knew about this catch in this game and just the great play. It was a gutsy call at the time. And Mike Quick said, I told Jaws that it was there. So he was like, and I knew if the first guy missed me, I was going the entire way. But what I did not know was this was the Eagles' first ever win in overtime. Overtime didn't start in the NFL until 1974, so it was the first time they had won a game in overtime. It was their second overtime game of the 1985 season, but this game shouldn't have been close. They blew a 17-0 lead in the fourth quarter and almost lost it in regulation, but the Falcons missed a chip shot field goal. So just a lot of struggle, and we'll get more into that in the next segment on this Eagles team that year. But Reggie White had 2 sacks in the game. This was his rookie year with the Eagles. For playing defensive line for Atlanta that day, also sacking Ron Jaworski, was future Eagle Mike Pitts. Just a little tidbit for you there. But back to that 85 Eagles team, they were 6-5 at one point in the season. Lost 4 straight, including a 28-23 loss to the Vikings at home, in which, again, they blew a 23-0 lead in the fourth quarter. All of this led to Marion Campbell getting fired, which led to the Buddy Ryan era, and one of the, I guess you could say, most disappointing, but for me, one of the most fun eras in Eagles history. But on this day in 1985, Eagles beat the Falcons 23-17 in overtime, when Mike Quick took a Ron Jaworski pass 99 yards for the walk-off game-winning touchdown in overtime at the Vet, the Eagles' first ever overtime victory in franchise history. All right, also, we've been doing this until we get to November 17th, when we're going to start looking at what we're thankful for in Philly sports and kick off our second annual food and gift drive. Benefits the Maddie N. Dixon Community Cupboard in Ambler. I've been telling you, we're going to start it next week, but we're doing a two-prong approach where we're going to focus on gift cards for the first 2 weeks and then do our reverse advent calendar the second 2 weeks. Looking forward to that. But until we get to the thankful part, also on this day in Philly sports, it was a sad day. This was the day that Pelle Lindbergh was officially declared brain dead. They kept him on the respirator, but doctors said there was just no way he was ever going to recover from that injury. He suffered earlier in the day from that horrific car accident. They did keep him on the respirator until his dad got in from Sweden. His mom was already here visiting. But a sad day in Philly sports history on this day, when pretty much it was just a matter of time before Pelle Lindbergh officially passed away. And unfortunately, at the time, the Flyers were playing very well. They were 12-2, looking to go back to the Stanley Cup. But just a brutal and sad day. And really, the Flyers never recovered that season from this devastating news. Also on this day, the Sixers beat the Bucks 105-97. Moses Malone, 35 points, 14 rebounds to bring the Sixers record to 4-4. In the paper that day, they were still discussing Temple's missed opportunities in their 21-17 loss to Pitt, a game they, by all stretch of the imagination, should have won. They should have beaten Penn State earlier that year, but just costly mistakes had plagued the Owls in 1985. They also played this game without Paul Palmer, who we talked about the other day, who was out due to injury. And back to the Eagles. They were ripping the Eagles for this game. They said they struggled against another quote-unquote patsy, and the team, they were ripping Marion Campbell, and things were not good despite the Eagles being, I believe they were 5-5 after this game, but playing down to the competition. So stop me if you heard that before. But that all also happened on this day in Philly sports. But in 1985, Eagles beat the Falcons 23-17 in overtime. Mike Quick went 99 yards for the game winner from the 1-inch line, the Eagles' first ever overtime win. We'll have updates on the Sixers tomorrow. Hopefully they can get it together and steal a win here. If not, I think it's fair to start looking into lottery picks. 3 keys to the Eagles game. Don't get caught looking ahead. Run the ball and make Cooper Rush be the guy that beats you. Don't give up easy runs. I really think there's no way. So if those old guys start getting big chunk yards, it could be a long day, but I don't see it. Our official pick is the Eagles minus the 7. But what is your thoughts on this game today? 267, 2-4. Give me your thoughts on this game today. 267-495-8531. That is the Back to the Future voice and text site. I'll get it out. Get that, anything else Philly sports related off your chest. But who wins today's game? Eagles, Cowboys, 267-495-8531. That'll get you in. We'll have everything you need about this game tomorrow. We'll vote on the GOAT of the game. But it's Eagles, Cowboys. Even though it's lost some of the luster, it's still Dallas week. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for November 10th, 2024. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Sunday, and until next time, go Birds.